Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced Replay. Another game on the Sunday, May the 10th block. Game number 202 on the whole season. It's between Baltimore and Chicago. Look at the first two games. The game Friday night, the White Sox beat the Orioles 1-0. Boddicker pitched a complete game, 8 innings, but took a tough luck loss as Jose De Leon and Bob James shut him out. Only run of the game was a Darrell Boston homer in the 7th inning, and that gave the White Sox a 1-0 win in the first game of the series. Game 2 of the series, Baltimore came back to win it by the score of 4-3. Primarily a 2-run homer from Larry Sheets in the 8th inning. Broke a 2-2 tie, gave them a 4-2 lead. They hung on and won it 4-3. And Jeff Ballard got the went 6 innings, but did not get the win. Williamson went the final 3, and he got the win. So Williamson is going to be unavailable as he went 3 innings in the previous game. Jim Wynn, 2 innings in the previous game. Jim Wynn is unavailable for the White Sox, just to try to keep things where it's fair and realistic. We don't want to wear out our, these pitchers and whatnot. So that will be the situation for both bullpens. But we're on the final game of the series. Rich Dotson against Eric Bell. Ballpark effects for Chicago. Singles 1-9 for both left and right. Home run 1-4 left and right. Orioles enter the game 13-16. Chicago enters 13-13. Kansas City won the game this afternoon, so Kansas City pulled it. They're 14-13, so they pulled a half game ahead of Chicago. So Chicago has to win to keep pace and keep the pressure on first place Oakland. All right, so Rich Dotson going to be getting those warm-up tosses in. He is actually very good at holding runners. He is a -5, and then Karkovite's a -2, but -5 is the best you can have. So the few guys that run for the Orioles, like Alan Wiggins, probably won't do too much running in this one, I would think. So we will get ready to get started. Get the full numbers on Dotson. He is 3-2, but his ERA is 1.62. He's second in the league in ERA to Jimmy Key. He's right there at the top near with Jimmy Key. 44 innings pitched, 33 hits, 21 walks, 25 strikeouts. But his 3-2 record just speaks to lack of run support. That's what that mainly talks about. So Alan Wiggins will lead things off. He's hitting .210, a homer and 7 driven in. He hit .232 real world and run away from Chicago. 2-4 against a right-hander, ground ball to second. Manrique will throw to first, and it's an easy first out of the inning. Again, Carlton Fisk is playing first base with the lefty on the mound. They're resting or sitting Greg Walker. So Fisk is at first, and Karkovite is catching. All right, here's Lee Lacy, right fielder. Lacy on the replay in just 25 at bats is hitting .240, a homer and 3 driven in. He hit .244 real world. 4-10, and that's going to be a ground ball right back to Dotson. So 2 easy outs to start the ball game for Dotson. That's just going to help his ERA, no question about it. And that'll bring up Cal Ripken, shortstop. Ripken hitting .252 on the replay, 4 homers, 15 driven in, and gosh darn it, he hit .252 in real world. So he's right on schedule. 4-9 is a walk. First walk issued by Dotson. 2-out walk to Ripken. He's not going to go anywhere. Will not be held. And here comes Eddie Murray. Hello, Tim. Here comes Eddie Murray. He was the thumbnail choice for this game. Usually I give it to the home team on the thumbnail, but to Kansas City game and this game I went with the visiting team just to mix it up. So Eddie Murray is hitting .369 on the replay. He's one of those top hitters in the league. 7 home runs, 21 driven in. He had .277 real world. First havoc roll with nothing happening. Dotson to Murray, 5-10 left-handed, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-18. That's gone. Eddie Murray, look at it again, 5-10. Switch hitter batting left, 5-10. In-home run, 1-18. That's a 13. You know Murray's got normal power. That's not even a question. That is home run number 8 for Eddie Murray. RBIs 22 and 23 on the replay. And the Orioles take a 2-0 lead off of Rich Dotson. That's going to bump the old ERA up. That brought his ERA up to an even 2. It was like 1.6 something when the game started. It's up to 2 already, as he's given up 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Here's Fred Lynn. Lynn hitting 194 on the replay, really struggling. Hit 253 real world. 7 home runs, 17 driven in. 6'10", and that's a catcher X. We're looking at Karkovice. He's a 2E11. Hello, Ben. 2E11, 2 and a 13. We'll check the catching X. 2 and 13 on a catching X, and that is strictly a pop out. And now we're checking the error. He's an E11. So he's got to avoid 311 and 18. So basically just avoid an 11 because the chances of rolling a 3 and 18 are almost nothing. Got to avoid the 11. And look at that. Rolling that's a 10. My bad. Almost. I did go to public school. That is 10. He needed an 11 to make an error. So he actually got a break there, and that's going to end the inning. But 2 runs come in on the Eddie Murray homer. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Baltimore 2 and Chicago coming to bat. Good news for the White Sox is that Eric Bell is not the best pitcher in the world. So they might be able to put some runs on the board against Mr. Bell. Bell is 2-1 with an ERA of an even 6. He had a 5.45 ERA in real world. He has gone 30 innings, 26 hits, 13 walks, and 24 strikeouts. And Gary Reedus, the center fielder, will lead things off. Tough chances here in the outfield for Chicago. Their center fielder and left fielder are both a 4.E8 with a +1 arm, so not very good. So have Hewlett, who's a 4. So defensively, Reedus hitting 3 homers, 12 driven in. He hit 236 real world, so start 4.8 struck him out. So Eric Bell starts out with a strikeout. Then I'll bring up Jerry Royster. He's playing in left field in place of Darryl Boston with the lefty on the mound. So Royster, who plays a little bit of everywhere, playing left field in this one. Royster on the replay, only 28 at bats, but he is hitting 2 homers, 3 driven in. But very limited duty. 1-7, he's going to strike out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Eric Bell. How about that? That'll bring up RJL's favorite player, Harold Baines, DH. He's hitting 500. He's 6 for 12 in very limited duty. No homers or runs batted in. Lefty, 111. That's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So the White Sox go quietly in their half of the first. We go to the second, 2-0 Baltimore. And on paper, with the pitching matchup especially, it looked like the White Sox had the advantage. Of course, there's still 8 innings to go. And anything can happen with these dice. Hello, Mr. Robert. Fred Lynn will lead things off for the Orioles. On the replays, hitting 271, 4 homers, 11 driven in. He hit 256 real world. 3-7, and that's a 1-17 double. That's a 6. So Fred Lynn with a leadoff double, and the Orioles have the hitting shoes on. Lynn will not be held at second. Here's Ray Knight hitting 267, 10 homers, and 23 driven in. He has 10 homers already in 105. I'm looking at Kennedy. Do I have these backwards? Did I mess this up? That was Knight that doubled. That's right, okay. Why did I have Lynn up there? Lynn popped out last time. So where did I get the double from? All right, what was the roll again? Now I've got to re-roll I got to go back and look and see what the real rolls. I forgot to flip Lynn's card forward. This was actually Knight's at bat against Dotson. And I'm trying to remember how he got the double. Boy, don't tell me I want to go and redo everything here. I'm going to go back and this doesn't happen on the other channel, folks, but it does happen here when you get old and you get forgetful sometimes. So let me go back and look at what the actual roll was for that game, for that at bat, and see what actually came up. All right. Hopefully this is doing something. Come on. I don't want to re-roll. I'd rather take the original roll if I can get it. All right, let's go back here. I had to go back far enough. Come on. All right, so Fred Lynn's batting. So let's see what I actually rolled. It should have been Ray Knight's at bat. So let's see what the actual roll was. It was 3-7. So Ray Knight actually strikes out. So Fred Lynn was not the batter, because I forgot to move his card. So we need to fix this. And I will fix that when I get my little correction tape going. I want to be correct. If it's a slight delay, I apologize, but I want to make sure it's all correct and above board. Ray Knight did strike out. All right. And of course, the Strat-O-Matic computer has the undo button, which is always a nice feature. So we'll undo that double and make it a strikeout. All right, that takes care of that. So leadoff strikeout by Ray Knight. And that'll bring up Terry Kennedy. And now we're back in business. Yep, we could use an undo button in more ways than Strat, that's for sure, but at least Strat computer has that. So. All right, here is Terry Kennedy. Kennedy on the replay is hitting 267. He's the one with 10 home runs. That's what threw me off. Terry Kennedy has 10 home runs and just 105 at bats. He only had 18 and 500 at bats in real world, so he's way above on home runs. The RBIs are about average, and his batting average is 267, real world 250, not too far off. But the home runs, he's had the power stroke going. 3-6. That's a single to center field for Terry Kennedy. So a one-out single, he will not be held. And here's Larry Sheets, the left fielder. He had the big home run in the previous game that gave him the victory. He's hitting 224, 4 homers, and 10 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. It's a 5-7, left-handed ground ball shortstop X, but the run on first not being held. So Guillen will keep his 2E21 total. Hello, Chuck. So a 2 and a 14 should be a chance at a double play. 2 and a 14 is a G1. His error rating's an E21. He has to avoid 6, 15, and 17. He ought to be able to do that. And he does. So it's going to be a double play, 6-4-3, just what Dotson ordered. And it's going to end the inning. So a little hiccup in the beginning, but we're all straight now. And we're moving on to the bottom of the second with a 2-0 Oriole lead. And Carlton Fisk, the first baseman, is going to lead things off. And on the replay, Fisk is hitting 253, 2 homers, 11 driven in. He at 256 real world. 2-9 against the lefty is a leadoff walk. First walk issued by Bell. First base runner for the Sox, and of course, Fisk not going anywhere. And Ivan Calderon, right fielder. 309 on the replay, 5 homers, 14 driven in. He at 293 real world. Nothing on the habit. 3-8 against the lefty, struck him out. Third strikeout for Bell. And Calderon is out of there. So one away for Tim Hewlett. Hewlett hitting a .184, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 217 real world. 5-3. It's a ground ball first base X to Eddie Murray. Murray is a 2. He's not holding Fisk on, so he keeps the 2. He's a 2E10. 2 and a 6. Might just be a fielder's choice. 2 and a 6 is a G2, but it would have been a base hit had he been holding the runner, but he was not holding the runner. So it's going to go to second, or go to Ripken at short for the force, assuming there's no error. He's an E10, 11, 15, 3, and 18. And that's a 10. 10 and a 10, he avoids it. The 11 was the error, not the 10. So it will be a 3 to 6 fielder's choice, but the return throw not even going to be made by Ripken because Hewlett was down the line pretty quickly. 2 away. And that will send up Fred Manrique, second baseman. Manrique on the replay, hitting .243, no homers, 4 driven in. He hit .258 real world. 3-5, and that's a 1 to 14 home run. That is a 9. That was in between. It was a 19 or a 9. So I'm not sure how to team, but when I touched it, it went to 9. I don't know how to rule on that because a 9 would be a home run and 19 would be a triple. So I'm going to assume we're going to call it a home run because that's where it fell. So it's a 2-run home run for Fred Manrique. Cal Ripken Sr. protesting that call, but that's where it landed. 2-run home run for Manrique. And the Sox have tied this ball game at 2. Here's Ozzie Guillen. Guillen on the replay is hitting .239, 1 homer, 7 driven in at .279 world. 4-7, and that's a single to left field, so they're starting to get the bell here in the second inning. So even if that had been a triple, the single would have scored him anyway, so the 2 runs would have been in regardless of how I ruled it. So here's Karkovice, Mr. No-Hit. Although he is hitting .143, no homers or runs driven in. He hit .071 real world, but he did have 2 homers. So he hasn't shown any power yet. 3-8, and he's going to strike out. Strike out number 4, and that is out. That is the end of the inning, actually. He struck him out. That will end the inning, but the Sox hit 2-run home run from Fred Manrique. And we are tied at 2 after 2. And designated hitter Jim Dwyer leads things off. He's hitting .370 in the replay in just 46 at bats. 5 homers, 10 driven in. He at .274 real world. Hello, Larry. Good to see you. 6-11, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Dotson's a 2 E14. 2 and a 20, he'll get to that. E14, he's got to make sure he doesn't boot it. That's an 11. E14 and an 11. So E14, there is no 11. It's a good play for Dotson. He will retire Dwyer. 1 down, and here's Alan Wiggins. Grounded to second his first time up. 6-9, switch hitter batting left is a fly to center. Gary Reedus will haul it in. 2 down for Lee Lacy. Lacy grounded back to Dotson his first time up. 4-8, and that's a walk. 2-out walk to Lacy. That is the second walk issued by Dotson. Lacy, not really a threat to steal, so he will not be held. And here's Cal Ripken. (5-2), and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Dotson. And that will end the top of the third. Go to the bottom of the third, still 2-2 here at Comiskey. Top of the order for Chicago will be Reedus, Royster, and Baines. Reedus struck out his first chance. 2-4, and this time he's going to ground it to Ripken. And there's 1 away. And that sends us to Jerry Royster. He also struck out his first chance. 1-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9, that's an 18, so that will be a line out to short. Ripken will snag that. 2 down for Harold Baines. Baines flew to center his first chance. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. So Baines down on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Eric Bell in just 3 innings. And we're tied at 2 as we head to the 4th. Larry, it was odd. I got there to 2000, and then the next thing I know, it went back to 1998, and now it's over 2000 again. So I don't know how the thing works. I don't know if it's registering properly or people are unsubbing or leaving YouTube, or I don't know what the story is, but I appreciate it immensely, but you never know what's going to go up and down, like the stock market, I guess. All right, here's Eddie Murray, a home run, his first time up. 6-11, switch hitter batting left. Is a ground ball pitcher X right to Dotson. 2E14, and 2 and 14 he'll get to that. The E14, we just had that. 7, 13, 14, and 17 are to be avoided, and they are. So good play for Dotson. 1 down for Freddie Lynn. Lynn popped up to Karkovice his first time. That's a 4-10, and that's going to be a fly ball center field X. That's trouble because Reedus is a 4. And when you have a 4 there in center field, you're asking for trouble. 4 and 9 is probably going to drop, if I had to guess. 4 and a 9 is a single, so it will drop in for a single. His E rating is an 8. Got to avoid 3, 4, 15, 16, and 18. And he does that, but it will drop in for a single for Fred Lynn, as Reedus unable to get to it. Lynn has to be held. He will get the lead automatically on a 2 through 6 or a 12. But Dotson a -5 hold, so I don't think that Lynn's going to be too frisky about it. Here's Ray Knight. 5-5, and that's going to be a fly to center. Reedus will get to that one and take care of Knight for out number 2. And here's Terry Kennedy. Kennedy singled his first time up, was erased on a double play. 4-8, and that's a walk. Third walk issued by Dotson. Unusual to have control issues. He's had pretty good control. Not doing it today or tonight. Here's Larry Sheets. He hit into that double play. 4-6, and he's going to strike out. End the inning. 3 strikeouts for Dotson to go along with his 3 walks. Orioles come away empty-handed. We go to the bottom of the 4th now. It's still 2-2. Carlton Fisk, first baseman Carlton Fisk in this game, will lead off. He walked his first time up. 5-8 is a strikeout. Bell with strikeout number 6. And that'll bring up Calderon. 2-6, and that is a single to center field for Ivan Calderon. Calderon, 0 hold for Bell, so pretty neutral there. If he gets the lead, it'd be a 1-13. He needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. Hello, Bart. A 2 through 5 will get him the lead. Cannot get the lead. He will. Here's Tim Hewlett, hit to a fielder's choice last time. 2-9 against the ballpark blast. 1-4 though, and that's a 5. Bad break there. Just a deep fly to left for Hewlett. Warning track power is what they used to call that. And Sheets at the warning track makes the catch. 2 down for Manrique. Hit that 2-run homer. First time up to give the Sox their runs. That's a 2. And that's going to be a chance of a balk on Bell. His balk rating is a 2. And there is no balk. So Manrique will settle in and swing against Bell. 3-3, and it's ground ball to Ripken at short, and that will end the inning. Nothing doing for the White Sox here in the 4th. We go to the 5th. It's still 2-2. nip and tuck here at Comiskey. Dotson will be facing Dwyer, and then Wiggins and Lacey. Dwyer tapped back to the mound his first time up. 110, and that's a single. Leadoff single. Don't see many DHs batting ninth. That's kind of unusual. That would make me feel better about the DH rule if they made a rule that says DHs had to bat ninth because that's where the pitcher bats. That would make it a little bit better if you force the DH to bat ninth. I might be more on board with the DH if that was the case. Here's Wiggins. 6-7, and that is against the lefty is a strikeout. So Dotson gets a strikeout number 4 for Dotson. And that'll bring up Lee Lacey. .211. That's a ballpark single, 1-9. That's an 8, so it'll be a base hit for Lacey. Stopping at second is Dwyer. So first and second with one out for the big boys coming up, Ripken and Murray. Chance for the Orioles to take the lead. Reclaim the lead, I should say. They had it at one point. Ripken walked and struck out. 1-5, and he's going to ground it to third. On a third base A, it's around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. Just what Dotson ordered. Second double play turn by the White Sox in 5 innings, and it gets Dotson out of any potential trouble. And it puts the Orioles back in the field. Go to the bottom of the fifth, still 2-2. This will be the fatigue inning for Eric Bell. He's got a 5 sitting right there, so that is his fatigue. He'll be facing Guillen, Karkovice, and Reedus here in the bottom of the fifth. In the 1987 replay will be from the Motor City in Detroit. It'll be the final game of the Oakland A's and Detroit Tigers. And it'll be Moose Haas for the A's against Jack Morris for the Tigers from Tiger Stadium. Bell, 2-6 to Guillen, pops him up to third. One away. And that'll bring up Karkovice. He struck out his first chance. 1-8 is going to strike out again. Strikeout number 7 for Eric Bell. And that'll send us to Reedus. 3-6. And that's a 2-out walk. And Reedus might be looking to run. For Bell, that is his second walk to go with 7 strikeouts. But Reedus to get the lead of 2 through 6 gets him the proper lead he needs. And at 5, he will get the lead. So it's a 19, being held as a 17. Hold is a 0. 1-17, he will steal it. Kennedy's T rating is only a 2, so it's not much of a risk to throw. So they're going to throw down there, and so now 1-2 on Kennedy is a throwing error. No, he's not going to be a throwing error as second baseman Wiggins hauled it in. But it will be a stolen base for Gary Reedus. Successful stolen. He's in score with 2 outs for Jerry Royster. Bell to Royster. 2-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, but there's a little Omega sitting right here. And with that stolen base, that turns us into a clutch situation. So the ground ball to short turns into a base hit. Base hit, and I believe, I think it's just one. Let me double check the rule on that. I think it's just 1 star, but I'm going to be accurate. I don't want to assume anything. You know what happens when we assume. Actually, it turns into a single 2 star, so it will be an RBI single. Makes sense if it's a clutch, then he's got to score the runner with the hit. So it's a single, 2 base single from Royster, and that puts the White Sox in the lead. So by stealing the base, it made it a clutch situation and turned it into a run. Now Royster has a chance to steal the base also. Needs a 6 or a 7. Does not get it. So that'll bring up Harold Baines. Baines is 0 for 2. 1-9, make it 0 for 3 as he grounds to Ripken at short. But the Sox do take the lead. And at the end of 5, it is Chicago 3 and Baltimore 2. Rubber game of the series. Each team has won 1. So the winner of this one wins the series. Dotson back out. Will be facing Murray, Lynn, and Knight for the Orioles. .112 for Murray is a line out max to second base, but no one else is on base, so it's just a line out to Mr. Manrique. 1 away. And that'll bring up Freddie Lynn. Freddie Lynn. 6-9, and that is a fly to center. Hauled in by Reedus. 2 away, and now Dotson's been given a lead, and he's looking like he's got a killer instinct to protect that lead. Knight 4-6, ground ball to second. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning turned in by Dotson, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-2. Bell will come back out. He's got a little bit of fatigue still left in him, or a little bit of endurance still left in him. Did give up a hit, a walk, and a run, but he hasn't reached fatigue just yet. He's very close. And with that in mind, bullpen activity, Dave Schmidt for the Orioles is loosening in their bullpen. Dave Schmidt. Not to be confused with John Jingleheimer of the same name. All right, so here is Fisk. 2-4, and that's a home run. 1-9. That is a 4 right on the number here. 1-9. It fits perfectly. So look at it again. 2-4. Home run. 1-9. That's a 4. Fisk will go deep. Home run Carlton Fisk. For Fisk, that is home run number 3, RBI. And the White Sox lead at 4-2. And Schmidt is loosening a little bit more fervently. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 8 for Bell. But he's on the short end of a 4-2 ball game. Here's Hewlett. Timmy Hewlett. 3-7, struck him out. Strikeout number 9. And we turn it over to Manrique. 4-4, and that's a walk. That will probably make him fatigued. Let's let the computer confirm. It is true. Eric Bell is now listed as being fatigued. Now, Manrique needs a 6 or a 7 to get the jump. Schmidt's a +3 arm, so they're going to try to see if they can get Bell to get the third out of the inning. Schmidt has a +3, so with Bell a 0, they'd rather try to keep Manrique close. 6 or a 7, he gets the lead, does not get the lead. So here's Guillen, plus it's lefty on lefty, so they're going to let him pitch to Guillen. 6-9, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-2. That's a 10. It'll be a double for Ozzie Guillen, and that might possibly score Manrique. He wasn't being held. 13, well, not held as a 14. I'm sorry, he was being held. It makes him a 12. He was being held, so it's a 12. 2 outs makes it a 14. The double goes to center. Lynn is a 0. So it's a 1-14. They're going to send him, and Guillen's going to go to third on the throw if they don't get him. But it's a 1-14 to score him. 19, he is out. So Manrique is out at the plate. Nice relay from Lynn to Ripken to Kennedy. And they throw out Manrique at the plate to end the inning. That's going to be it for Bell. So Bell is done. The White Sox have rung his bell. He's out of there. And Dave Schmidt will be the new pitcher next inning for the Orioles. Dave Schmidt. We get the final results on Bell after I put this little beauty in the computer. 8-6-2. There we go. All right. The numbers on Eric Bell. He goes 6 full innings. He is going to give up 6 hits and 4 runs, all of which were earned. 3 walks and 9 strikeouts. But he got bit by the gopher ball twice. So now Dotson's out. This will be his fatigue inning. He has a number 7. And since I'm moving that far over here, I'm starting to lose the cards. I'm going to bring them back over here. And we'll start on this side to give us room over here. Kennedy will lead things off against Dotson. Sox now lead it 4-2. Kennedy is 1 for 1 with a walk. He singled and walked. 1-7, he struck him out. So Kennedy out on strikes. And for Dotson, that is strikeout number 5. So Kennedy is retired on the strikeout. Brings up Larry Sheets. 1-7, and that's a ballpark blast. It's only 1-4 though, so it's just a deep fly to right, and Calderon will haul it in. 2 down. For Jim Dwyer, the DH. 1-9, and that's a single for Dwyer. 2-out single belonging to Dwyer. Flips the order over to Wiggins. Dwyer not going to be held, obviously. Wiggins is 0 for 3. I wonder if they might pinch hit for Wiggins because we are in the 7th inning. So we will get a pinch hitter for Alan Wiggins. Orioles will go to their bench. And on their bench, they don't have a whole lot. All right-handers are on the bench. They got Ken Gerhardt, Rick Burleson, Dave Van Gorder, Nelson Simmons, and Rene Gonzalez. So how do you play that? Well, Rick Burleson is going to take over at second base. Question is who's going to hit. Looks like Nelson Simmons might have the best average. And he does. So Nelson Simmons is going to pinch hit for Alan Wiggins. He will pinch hit for Wiggins. And then Burleson will come in and play second base. So Nelson Simmons, 7th, and Burleson, second base in the bottom of the 7th. So it is Nelson Simmons getting a chance. Run on first, 2 outs. He is the tying run at the plate where a long ball could tie the ball game. Let's get the numbers on Simmons on the replay. And on the replay, Simmons is hitting .313 in 48 at-bats. He had 49 at-bats on the season. This will be 49. This is his 49th at-bat in the replay. He's got 3 homers, 12 driven in. He only hit 1 homer in real world, but he's got 3 on the replay. Hitting .313 where he only hit .265 in real world. So Dotson to Simmons. 3-5, and that's a single 1-18, so that's a base hit for Simmons. 1 star, so Dwyer can only get second base. But a pinch hit single, and that keeps the thing going for Lee Lacy. And Dotson 1 base runner away from being fatigued. Lee Lacy, it is a clutch situation now, and he gains hits on 1-5 and 1-10 in the clutch. That's a 6-11. Ground ball pitcher X. We're back to Dotson. He's an E14 with a 2. 2 E14. 2 and a 5 for a pitcher. Should still get to it, I would think. 2 and a 5 is a G3. That's all he needs. He's an E14. Needs to avoid 7, 13, 14, and 17. 7, 13, 14, and 17. And that is a 13. He did not avoid it. E14 for Dotson. E14 here. The 13 is right there. It's a 1 base error on Dotson. And that will load the bases. Critical error by Rich Dotson. It has loaded the bases for Cal Ripken. And now the bullpen for the White Sox is loosening. Remember that they had Wynn go 2 innings last game, so he's unavailable. They do have Thigpen. They do have Searage, a lefty. They've got Ripken coming up, followed by Murray and Lynn. So they do have left-hander Ray Searage. Ray Searage is loosening in their bullpen. But they're going to see if Dotson can get out of it. Bases loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation for Ripken. In the clutch, he gains a hit on a 2-10 and on a 3-3. So he is a little bit better than average in the clutch. Dotson to Ripken, 6-6. Line out to second base. It's hit it hard, but right to Manrique, and the Orioles leave them loaded. They had their opportunity, but they left them loaded. We'll see if Dotson comes out again for the top of the 8th. He might start the 8th. We shall see. Not sure. But we are going to the bottom of the 7th. And, of course, that means the 7th inning stretch. And take me out to the ball game. And we do have a feline delay as Tabby has made it here for the 7th inning stretch. Waiting for the bottom of the 7th to initiate. All right, Tabby, you can jump down. Here, you can sit on the perch. Go on and sit on your perch. There you go. Good girl. All right. So there you go, Chuck. Tabby made an appearance for you. But she opened the door on her own to come in here, so I didn't coax her to it. But there it is. So Dave Schmidt will be in to pitch for the Orioles. On the replay, Schmidt is 1-1, no saves, a 6.29 earned run average, 24 innings pitched, 34 hits, 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. Now Tabby's laying quietly on the floor, so we're going to leave her that way. Karkovice, I would normally pinch hit for him in this part of the game, but since they're up 4-2, I want to keep his defense. So if he All right, it says I'm back, so hopefully I am. We shall see. It says I am, so we're going to sally forth with this game. Yep, we are back. All right. The only thing, and I'm not sure if you guys saw it before it conked out or not, but Karkovice led off the inning being hit by the pitch. So I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but that's what happened before the Belinda Carlisle episode of Circles in the Sand came along. So Gary Reedus will be up with Karkovice on first base and nobody out. Schmidt to Reedus. Ritas is 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. 410 for Schmidt. Fly ball center field X. That is Lynn. He's a 3E3. 3 to 20. He'll get to that. E3. E3 and a 13. E3 and a 13. And it's no 13 there for Lynn. He will make the catch, and there's one away. So one down. And that'll bring up Jerry Royster. Saw that while I was fixing everything else up, I saw Gardner is doing some sort of app of hockey. Kind of threw me back. I thought the only game in town was bank shot basketball with corner rounds. So I must have been mistaken. All right, here is Dave Schmidt. .29, and that's a ground ball to short that's going to end the inning. 6-4-3 double play. Takes care of the Sox in the bottom of the 7th. So go the 8th, still 4-2. And Dotson's going to start the top of the 8th, but they do have Searage loosing in the pen, and he is ready. He is most definitely ready, but they're going to let Dotson pitch to Murray. 2-4, and that's a ground ball right back to Dotson, and that's one away. Now you got a couple of lefties. 2 out of the next 3 are lefties, so I believe they're going to go ahead and pull Dotson right now. That's what I figured happened, Larry. I kind of figured that was the case. But anyway, Dotson's going to go 7 1/3 innings. Just 2 runs, which were earned. Those were in the first inning. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. He walked, looks like he walked 3 to my best recollection. And he struck out 5. So Ray Searage, the left-hander, will be coming in to try to finish out the 8th inning. And then Bobby Thickpen will be coming in to try to close it out in the 9th. But Searage will be coming on to face Fred Lynn. Searage to Lynn. Still feels like it's a little choppy on the video, but we'll see. 1-7 is a strikeout. So comes in and strikes out Fred Lynn, out number 2 for Ray Knight. So I think my internet's still kind of iffy. 4-6, and that's a ballpark blast. That's a 4, but that's an 18, so Ray Knight will fly to left to end the inning. So Searage gets the job done. 2/3 of an inning, gives up nothing. And Bobby Thickpen will come in and pitch the 9th to try to go for the save. Dave Schmidt back out for the Orioles in his 2nd inning of relief. Hello, Colin. And here is Royster against Schmidt. 6-9, and that's a line out to Ripken at short. One away, and that brings up Mr. Baines. Baines is... Actually, no, that should have been Baines at bat because Royster hit the double play. My bad. So the line out to short. Now I forgot what I rolled. Line out to short. Where was the line out to short? Was that on his card? This whole internet thing has got me screwed up here. It was a ballpark thing on the, so it didn't matter because the home run chance wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was a ballpark blast, and or was a ballpark blast on his card. Now I'm trying to remember what the heck I rolled. Talk about being out of sorts here. I might have rolled a 111. I'm just going to re-roll everything and just have a brand new roll since Baines should have been the batter to begin with. He was delinquent. He was back in the clubhouse Didn't come out in time. Should get, if it was modern baseball, he'd be struck out on a pitcher, on a batter delay, but we'll give him an opportunity to hit. Oh, and now we got Suadice. Schmidt to Baines, 2-4. 2-4 is a ballpark single check. 15, though, is too high, so he's going to line it to second. One away for Carlton Fisk. 3-4, and that's a strikeout for Schmidt. 2 down for Calderon. 6-8, and that's a pop out to first base, and that's going to end it for the Sox. So we go to the ninth. There will be one defensive change for Chicago. Fisk will be taken out at first base, and they will bring in Greg Walker, their normal first baseman. A little bit better defender at a 3E10 versus the 4E25. So 3E10 now. And that's going to be Mr. Walker. So Walker will be at first base in the ninth. Mr. Walker. All right, for the White Sox, they will turn to Bobby Thigpen to try to close the deal. He'll be facing 3 lefties, Kennedy, Sheets, and Dwyer, here in the bottom of the top of the ninth, 4-2, favor of the Chi Sox. Spokane was glitching too. Okay, I think it's just maybe the Comcast or Xfinity or whatever the heck it is. Maybe it's just the heat. Who knows? So I bet you Gardner's not glitching. He probably with all the money he makes on his channel, he probably has enough to from all the Patreons and stuff to get top of the line internet, gold cable equipment or whatever that never fails. So he can show all the bank shot basketball with the corner rounder games as much as possible. All right, here is Kennedy against Thigpen. 3-10, and that's a walk. Leadoff walk to Kennedy to start the ninth. So it's tying runs at the plate is Larry Sheets. Two 9, and that's a ground ball first base A. It'll be a 3-6-3 double play. How about that? You bring a new first baseman in the game, the ball finds him, and in this case, that's a ground ball first base A, 3-6-3 double play. 2 quick outs, and it's up to Jim Dwyer. 2-10, and that's a ground ball to short. Guillen has it, and there's your ball game. Thigpen, 1 inning pitched, gave up nothing. He did walk a batter, but he qualifies and gets the save. Dotson gets the win to go to 4-2. Bell takes the loss to drop to 2-2. Schmidt went 2 innings, hit a batter, but gave up nothing else. No, and 1 strikeout, actually. 1 strikeout, not 0 strikeouts. 1 strikeout. So the final line score for the White Sox, 4 runs. They do it on just 6 hits. And I don't believe either side made an error. It was a pretty clean game. As far as I can remember, I'm searching. I don't think there were any errors in the game for either side. For the Orioles, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Player of the game, you can take your pick. Dotson certainly was effective. Manrique had a home run. Fisk had a home run, but nobody on offense for the White Sox did a whole lot. I mean, Guillen was 2 for 3, but really his stuff was none effect. So it's kind of hard to pick a winner in this one for the player of the game. I might just give it to Rich Dotson for his pitching performance. And the White Sox improved to 14-13. They come back into a tie with Kansas City for second place in the West, as they are a couple of games behind the Oakland A's. Orioles dropped to 13-17, and their rough season continues. And that will do it from Comiskey. The next game on the replay in Strat-O-Matic. I don't know when it will be, but it will be from Detroit. It will be Oakland and Detroit from the Motor City. Jack Morris against Moose Haas. It'll be game number 203 in the replay. And it'll be the next to last game of the Sunday, May 10th schedule. Don't know when that'll be, but we'll figure it out. It'll be some point or another. Of course, inside pitch, probably tomorrow, will be Philadelphia at Pittsburgh. Larry Christensen against John Candelaria in the 1977 inside pitch playthrough. So that's going to do it from here. White Sox win it by a score of 4-2. So Tabby probably wants my attention. She's over here laying and looking at me, wanting to know why I'm not over there paying her attention. So I better go do my duties over there and give her her due attention and wrap this thing up for the night. Since my computer crapped out and I had to restart it, means I've got to re-enter the whole thing into the Strat computer. So I'll be spending my time now doing that before I finish up for the evening. But we will be putting this into the Strat computer manually so that I can get everything up to snuff and up to date. So I do appreciate you spending part of your Tuesday night with me, despite the glitch. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.